Have you ever looked in the mirror and suddenly startled by your face? Wrinkles are getting deeper, your hair is grayer, your body is not as healthy as before. You ask yourself, am I aging so fast? The truth is, aging is not only due to age, but also due to what we eat every day. Many elderly people accidentally make 7 nutritional mistakes that weaken the body, wrinkle the skin, reduce memory, and even shorten life expectancy. But the good news is, if you know and avoid them, you can slow down aging, stay healthy, and enjoy life more fully. Just imagine, one morning you wake up, look in the mirror, and see yourself more radiant, brighter skin, a healthy body, a clear mind. You feel a clear change in every step, every meal, every sleep. That is something that can completely happen just by making a little change in your diet. So what are those 7 mistakes? I will explain them from a scientific perspective, share real-life stories, and most importantly, help you know how to avoid them. While watching, if you see yourself making any mistakes, please comment with the corresponding number. This will help you remember them longer and also help many others realize what they need to change. Are you ready? Let's explore the 7 nutritional mistakes that make the elderly age faster. As I said, what you eat every day greatly affects the rate of aging, and one of the most common mistakes is eating too little protein. Did you know that after the age of 50, we can lose 1–2% of our muscle mass every year if we do not supplement enough protein? This not only makes the body weaker, more prone to falls, but also makes the skin loose, sagging, and even affects the memory and immune system. Mrs. Linda, 72 years old, used to be very healthy, walking around the neighborhood every morning. But in the past 2 years, she found it more difficult to walk. Standing up and sitting down also lost strength. Looking in the mirror, she realized that her skin was sagging more than before. Her arms were no longer as toned as before. She thought it was just a sign of aging, until she went for a checkup and received the results that her muscles had significantly decreased due to a lack of protein in her diet. Before, she used to eat only bread, soup, and salad with little meat, thinking that eating light like that was good for her health. But after her doctor recommended increasing her protein intake, such as eggs, fish, chicken, and milk, after just a few months, she felt stronger, walked more flexibly, and even had firmer skin. Are you eating enough protein every day? If you are not sure, comment 1 to see how many people are making the same mistake. And don't leave, because the second mistake can directly affect your bones and brain. And many seniors make it without even knowing it. And here is a mistake that many seniors make without realizing it: drinking too little water. Have you ever felt tired, forgetful, and had dry skin even though you ate well? You may be dehydrated without knowing it. Our bodies are 70% water, but as we age, our sense of thirst decreases, causing many people to forget to drink water or only drink when their mouth feels dry. But by then, the body is already severely dehydrated. Lack of water not only causes wrinkled, dry skin, but also affects memory, concentration, and even increases the risk of stroke. Listen to this story. Mr. Richard, 78 years old, used to be a healthy, happy man. But recently, he often felt tired, dizzy, and sometimes almost fell when he stood up suddenly. The worst thing was that his memory was getting worse. He forgot the conversations he had with his children and grandchildren the day before, and once even forgot how to get home after a walk. The whole family was worried, thinking that he might have Alzheimer's. They took him to the doctor, did a series of tests, and then the doctor asked a simple question: how much water do you drink every day? At this point, everyone was shocked. Mr. Richard only drank 2 small glasses of water every day because he didn't feel thirsty, but in fact his body was seriously dehydrated, affecting his brain, heart, and skin. The doctor asked him to drink at least 6–8 glasses of water every day, adding soup, broth, and juicy fruits to his diet. And a miracle happened. After just 1 week, his skin was less dry, his mind was clearer, and he no longer felt tired. 2 months later, he happily told stories to his grandchildren without forgetting things. Are you sure you're drinking enough water every day? Don't let yourself fall into the same situation as Mr. Richard. Comment number 2 if you've ever forgotten to drink water, to see how many people are like you. And keep reading, because mistake number 3 is a seemingly harmless habit that can increase your risk of heart disease and Alzheimer's. And here's a very common mistake that many seniors make: Eating too much sugar. You may not like sweets, but don't think you're not one of them. Sugar is everywhere, not just in sweets, but also in bread, sauces, cereals, and even low-fat foods that many people think are healthy. We all know that sugar can cause obesity and diabetes, but did you know that it also speeds up the aging process? When sugar enters the body, it attaches to collagen and elastin in the skin, causing it to lose elasticity, making the skin wrinkle and sag faster. Not only that, sugar also increases inflammation in the body, affecting joints, the heart, and even memory. Many studies have shown that sugar may be related to Alzheimer's, and the disease is even called type 3 diabetes. Listen to the story of 72-year-old Linda. She never thought she ate a lot of sugar because she didn't like sweets, but she loves drinking milk tea, canned juice, and eating bread every morning. Recently, she has felt pain in her joints, her skin is dry, more wrinkles appear, and most importantly, she is much more forgetful than before. Sometimes she goes into the kitchen, but forgets what she was going to do. Once she put the kettle on the stove but forgot to turn it on, and it took an hour to remember. Worried, she went to the doctor and was asked to reduce her sugar intake. She was shocked to learn that her favorite cup of milk tea contained nearly 10 spoons of sugar, and even bread and juice contained hidden sugar. After adjusting her diet, reducing sugar, replacing it with fresh fruit and fiber-rich foods, after only 1 month, her skin was brighter, her joint pain was less, and especially her memory improved significantly. Do you often eat sweets? Comment number 3 if you are also surprised by the amount of hidden sugar in your daily foods. And don't miss the next mistake: a seemingly harmless food that makes bones weaker and more prone to fracture as you age. And here is a mistake that many elderly people make without even knowing it: skipping breakfast. Have you ever thought that not eating breakfast makes your stomach feel lighter, helps you lose weight better, or simply because you don't feel hungry so you don't eat? But in fact, skipping breakfast can seriously affect your memory, cardiovascular system, and even increase the risk of stroke. Imagine the brain as a machine whose main fuel is glucose from food. After a long night, if you don't replenish your energy, your brain will run out of fuel, leading to memory loss, loss of concentration, even dizziness and fatigue all day. Not only that, many studies have shown that skipping breakfast regularly increases the risk of high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, and stroke by up to 36%. Listen to the story of Mr. Richard, 68 years old. Previously, he had a habit of only drinking a cup of coffee in the morning because he didn't feel hungry and thought breakfast was unnecessary. But recently he noticed that he was more forgetful than before, irritable, and sometimes felt dizzy when standing up too quickly. The climax was one morning, while on his way to buy a newspaper, he suddenly felt dizzy, lost his balance, and fell right in front of his house. Luckily, he only suffered a minor bruise, but it made him worried, and he went to get a health check. The doctor said that skipping breakfast causes unstable blood sugar levels, increases the risk of stroke, and affects memory. After that, Mr. Richards started to change his habits, eating a light breakfast of eggs, oatmeal, and some fruit. After just a few weeks, he felt more alert, less irritable, and especially no more sudden dizziness. What about you? Do you often eat breakfast? If you have also skipped breakfast, comment number 4 so we can see how many people need to change this habit. And don't miss the next mistake: a food that, if eaten in excess, can weaken bones and make them more prone to fractures as you age. Another big mistake that many seniors make is eating too much processed food. You may have thought that a quick, convenient meal that doesn't require cooking is the solution to a busy life, right? However, processed foods are full of chemicals, preservatives, and high levels of salt and sugar, which not only cause us to accumulate toxins in our bodies, but also unfortunately speed up the aging process. When we eat too much processed food, the body has to work harder to filter and excrete these toxins, which can lead to problems with the kidneys, liver, and digestive system. In addition, these foods cause inflammation, increase fat accumulation, and make the skin lose its firmness and age quickly. The story of Emma, 72, is a clear example. Emma, who lives in the suburbs, had a habit of eating processed foods such as pizza, instant noodles, and frozen meals because she no longer wanted to spend time cooking. However, over the past few years, she noticed that her facial skin was becoming more and more wrinkled, dry, and lifeless. Her joints also often ached, although she did not have any serious medical conditions. She felt that her health was getting worse, although she still ate regularly. Once she went to see a doctor and was advised that an unbalanced diet with too many processed foods was the cause of this condition. The doctor explained that these foods contained many chemicals, preservatives, and excessive amounts of salt and sugar, which made her body prone to inflammation, thereby accelerating the aging process. After that, Emma decided to cut down on processed foods, replacing them with green vegetables, fresh fruits, and home-cooked foods. It didn't help much, but Emma didn't have any preferences. Without home-cooked foods, after a while she felt her skin was more rosy, her joints were less painful, and her spirit was much more excited. Question for you: do you often eat processed foods? Share your thoughts in the comments with number 5. And don't forget, we have another nutritional mistake that many people still make. This can have a big impact on cardiovascular health and longevity. An extremely common mistake that many seniors make is not eating enough green vegetables. Have you ever felt that eating vegetables is a bit boring, difficult to swallow, or simply not as appealing as other dishes? However, this is a big mistake, because green vegetables are an important source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals that the body needs to maintain health and prevent aging. The fiber in green vegetables helps improve digestive function, prevent constipation, and help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and even colon cancer. In addition, green vegetables also play a role in strengthening the immune system, helping the body to fight disease better, especially when the body is gradually losing its ability to heal itself as strongly as when it was young. A typical example is the story of Mrs. Susan, a 72-year-old woman living in Texas. Mrs. Susan is always busy with volunteer work at the church and rarely pays attention to her diet. She loved to eat meat and fried foods, but she didn't eat many vegetables. Her meals often lacked green vegetables, and it was only when she felt constipated, tired, and had digestive problems that she realized the problem. This affected her quality of life. Once, she shared with her daughter Emily that she always felt sluggish and susceptible to colds. Emily, after doing some research, advised her mother to eat more green vegetables to improve her digestive health and immune system. At first, Susan didn't believe it, but after a few weeks of changing her diet, she felt her health improve significantly. She felt less tired, had better digestion, and even had brighter skin. Since then, every meal has included vegetables like spinach, broccoli, and carrots. And that's how Susan gradually regained her health, helping her enjoy her old age in a healthier way. Susan's story is a clear example of how not eating enough green vegetables can affect not only your digestive system, but also your immune system. If you are also experiencing a similar situation, don't forget to share your feelings with us under this video. You can start with small changes in your diet to feel a big difference in your health. Now, let's explore a common mistake that many older adults make: not getting enough good fats in their diet. Did you know that not all fats are bad? In fact, good fats, such as omega-3s, are important for maintaining brain health and reducing inflammation in the body. However, as we age, many people tend to reduce their fat intake because they are concerned about weight gain or heart disease. The story of Richard, a 68-year-old man from California, is a typical example. Richard used to be very diligent about dieting to stay fit and healthy. He avoided fatty foods such as salmon, nuts, and olive oil. Although he lost weight and felt slimmer, he began to experience memory problems. He couldn't remember recent events and had trouble concentrating on favorite activities like reading and gardening. Once, he visited his doctor and was warned that a lack of good fats could lead to reduced brain function. The doctor explained that our brains need these fats to maintain nerve activity and reduce inflammation in the body. Richard was surprised, as he had always thought that eating less fat was good for his health. However, the doctor advised him to start adding omega-3 from salmon and olive oil to his daily diet. After a few months of changing his eating habits, Richard began to feel that he had better memories and could focus on activities he loved. His mind was clearer, and he felt less inflammation in his body, no longer feeling tired or irritable as before. These changes helped him live a healthier life and enjoy life with more energy. Good fats are an important part of our diet, especially as we age, Adding healthy fats like salmon, avocado, chia seeds, and olive oil can have a number of benefits for brain health and reduce inflammation, helping your body fight chronic disease. If you feel like you're lacking fats in your diet, try adding them to your daily meals and see the difference. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. So we have discovered together 7 nutritional mistakes that many seniors are making, and more importantly, the serious effects they can have on their health and the aging process of the body. But don't worry, everything can change if you take action today. In fact, changing your diet doesn't have to be difficult or complicated. With just small adjustments, you can completely slow down the aging process and improve your quality of life. Like Mr. Richard in the previous story, when he knew how to change and add healthy fats to his diet, he was able to keep his mind sharp and live healthier. Similarly, if you start paying attention to your protein intake, drink enough water, cut down on sugar, eat more green vegetables and good fats, you will feel positive changes not only physically, but also mentally. If you find this video useful, don't hesitate to share it with your friends and relatives, especially those who are in their senior years, so that they can also change their eating habits. And don't forget to leave a comment under this video. Have you ever made any of the nutritional mistakes on this list? Share your story so that we can learn and share experiences together. Remember, health is the most valuable asset we have, and you can completely control it from today with small but meaningful changes. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel to watch the